We are, in fact, live. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, depending on where you are. I am Toby from Black Crow Gaming. Thank you so much for joining in on our podcast. Just first of all, in the chat, if you can shout out that all of our audio is hopefully working, because we obviously had lots and lots of lovely audio issues because I'm a moron from last week. Now, as long as we've got some lovely audio, lack of issues, I guess. I am joined by the wonderful Luke from Redacted. Luke, say hello and what you do.
Hello, everyone. How is everyone? Can you hear me still?
I can hear you still. So literally just about
Perfect.
2 minutes before we went live, everything went.
For a change, it's working.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Chris, for a change. It's working. Wish it wasn't. Love you too. Fantastic. What a great start. Yeah, Luke, go on. You tell us what you're doing. Luke, don't tell me you've just dropped out and died.
I'm still there.
Oh, you're still, you son of a bitch. You had me there.
Hello. No, yeah, I'm all good. Keeping busy. A bit chillier tonight, but yeah, all good.
Yeah, well, tell
Just
us.
see.
Go on, mate.
Go for it.
Right, tell us about your Warhammer journey, what you do, what you play, and why is it that we constantly scrap?
Yeah, we just have to like to get into a fight with each other, don't we? Normally over a can of cider.
Like the hobos we are.
Yeah. No. 40k. I've played on and off 40k for 15 plus years, but competitively only really in the last two. I primarily play demons, which I think a few people are already aware of that one. But I do actually also have Shikari, World Eaters, Thousand Suns now apparently as well, Chaos Knights, and a few other armies. But no, I just enjoy the competitive side of it after coming from other competitive games, really.
Okay, so what other sort of competitive games have you come from? Because we've not talked about this before. So what games have you come from previously?
My previous game before this, we play a game called X-Wing Miniatures. It was by Fantasy Flight at the time. I don't know who it is by anymore. And then before that, weirdly enough, chess.
Oh, nice. Okay. What were the kind of the major differences between going from a game where traditionally the most experienced player kind of always wins in chess to something that is more variance based with 40k?
It's definitely quite interesting, but I do tend to find the more experienced players do tend to still rise to the top anyway of 40k. But you just have bigger pockets for it than chess. No, it's much more inclusive 40k as well. Weirdly, over the chess. Chess I found very elitist, and they didn't like a youngster playing at the time.
Oh, okay. Well, when was it? When was it that you were playing then? Because I mean, you're not that old now, mate. So.
So I used to play as a teenager. And I stopped playing properly when I was about 2021 and then moved into other games. But the majority of the chess players I was playing against were a lot older and they didn't really want to play games against someone younger. I don't know if it's, if we lose to them, it looks bad or what. But no, yeah, I just got sort of pushed into other games. So then I got into other things like X-Wing and then 40k.
Oh, perfect. Okay, right. Well, we've already had people shouting out "Boo, demons," which I think most people would agree with. Obviously, with the stinky nurglings that everyone seems to appear. Actually, to be fair, I'm pretty sure that's Ben Piddington that said that. And he is always.
I mean, he plays Necrons.
Oh, is he play? Oh, yeah,
So
he switched to Necrons.
he's playing
now, isn't he?
Necrons, so we can boo him.
We can. We absolutely can. I mean, so the first time I played against Ben, we had a great time of Death Guard versus Dark Angels, and that was such a fun game. Like Mortarion was dominating the center, and I had a turn where I had to kill him, and then I think by the skin of my teeth, I just about managed to get him, and then a Land Raider went and scooted across the entire board to score like storm hostile objective on his home objective or something like that. It was an utterly stupid game, but hey, that's Peterborough Slam for you.
It's brilliant. I mean, my favourite game against Ben, I've played him a few times now, and we got matched round one at Leicester 2022 now. We got matched round one, out of 300 people. and it came down to the last turn. There must be like only a couple of points in it, but no, it's always quite entertaining.
Yeah, no, I mean, but we
No,
definitely can boo him still because he's playing Necrons now.
yes. Mm.
Yeah, I feel like that segues us nicely into kind of discussing where the meta's at. Because I don't know if you've had a chance to have a look at the Meta Monday and everything like that, but Necrons they feel a bit more dominant than they were previously, which I was kind of surprised at. What are you thinking?
Um, See, Necrons obviously after we had the balanced data slate, everyone thought they'd rise straight to the top. And while they're up there, they don't seem to have dominated until starting to come more and more into it again now, straight away. So I did wonder if they were going to start becoming a gatekeeping army. But yeah, I saw the Meta Monday, and that seems to be completely wrong. And Necrons are just everywhere.
Yeah, so I mean, I think if you because we both had a quick look at the Manchester GT, and in terms of what was kind of rising to the top, and I think the first thing you said to me was it feels like there's no variation, and Necrons were pretty heavily there. Obviously, the winner Josh Roberts was playing Necrons, and he dropped 15 points over 7 games. So I like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it gets to the point where you question, is that healthy? I've spoken to Josh before about his list when he was absolutely dismantling me, and sort of shagging me hard without even buying me dinner first. And he said that the list does need a nerf, in both with I think it was the Catan needed to go up a few points and the characters need to be going up a few points. So that'll be interesting to see when that changes. But until then, obviously that is looking quite dominant. One thing I would say for the Necrons though is there's a healthy bit of variance, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, I actually last weekend I ended up or weekend before wherever we are now, playing against a Silent King in the list, and he finished second at GT.
Right, yeah, and there was that one. That was the list. I can't remember which tournament. Oh, it was 40k, where I think he had 2 large blobs of Scorpec destroyers.
Oh wow, very nice.
Yeah, exactly, and he
I've
managed to
seen some of the
win.
odd flyers. Oh, what
Yeah.
the? Oh wow.
Which what as in the death croissants or the
Ah yes, the Death Croissants.
yeah
Yes,
croissant. Um,
the croissant.
croissant. Yeah. So the death croissant. I mean, that's interesting. I think that might be a response to the guard meta, so you can go and hunt down manticores and things like that. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that's a good shout actually, because we are seeing guards starting to rise to not necessarily top of the meta, but they come in a very strong gatekeeper at least, where you've got to be able to deal with their mass numbers in direct and ballgrins.
Yeah, I mean, I think guard are a really interesting one because their win rate, I think, is always going to be held down. We've spoken about this on the podcast before, so I won't bore people because I get on my my soapbox about this. But I think guard are always brought down by people messing around with them and just playing the way that they want to play it, like hordes of Leman Russes, hordes of infantry, that kind of thing. But if you bring the traditional what I'll call the David Gaylard list or the Don Maidlow, one of our other podcast hosts, he was playing it this weekend in Manchester. They they've been absolutely dominating with it. I think so. Obviously, David Gaylard made the finals again, and then only lost by 2 points to Josh Roberts. That game finished 90-88, and Dom went 4-1, even beating which one was it? Vic. He beat Vic's Grey Knights, which I think was Vic's only loss as well. So it
Oh wow,
was
okay.
yeah, it was an impressive weekend for the guard, but you do traditionally see them doing it in lower numbers because I think you do guard is one that seems to attract people that play competitively for a slightly more casual experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Definitely.
Mm.
It seems to be an army that it can deal with everything, but it's not. It's almost like the jack of all trade army, isn't it? Which is perfect, very much when you got rock paper scissors meta going on.
Yeah, I think that's more than fair. Like and you look at the MSU builds that because obviously we talked about this before, MSU or mechanized,
Yep.
and the MSU builds, they just feel like they just die to basilisks and manticores, and also the medusas. If you do run the medusas, I know that Martin Cooper, he's a big old fan of the medusas, and he's obviously top in the ICC at the moment. Chris, who we did have in chat earlier, I'm not sure if he's still here, but if he is, he plays quite a bit of indirect as well. Chris, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but you do see those top players able to deal with the MSU builds very easily, but then tank commanders with demolisher cannons just tear armor apart, don't they?
Yep.
You must have a nightmare if you're playing your Monster Mash Demons list. You must have an absolute nightmare with them, right?
Especially, I think as lately my demons have been less monster mash, normally one or two and some blood crushers, which actually gives me the opposite problem of I can't kill the Russes before they kill me. I can deal with his infantry, but I can't deal with the armor as quick.
Okay, so what's kind of pushed you to that? Are you playing the Rend Masters? Are you going for that kind of build?
Yep, normally I've been running double Red Master, double Blood Crusher bricks, and anything from Wraith Guard to heavy infantry, light infantry, they pick up very easily normally. Touch wood. But it's when you go up against the Russes, the tougher vehicles. They can do the light vehicles. It's in tougher vehicles it just become a bit more of a problem area.
Is that the jump from T10 to T11 that you find, or is it just like the actually light vehicles? You mean?
Yeah, I mean things like it's also wound counts. Crushers do mortal wounds on the charge, so normally they do about 5 to 6 on the charge mortal wounds. I think 6 is average, and then it all depends on if you're up against something with 10 to 12 whole points. What game are we playing now? They're normally all right, but as soon as you start getting a bit higher than that, they start struggling to take them last few wounds off.
Yeah, no, okay, that makes sense. I think that's interesting to hear that you're going a little bit more corn because obviously we've had Jack on the podcast before. We've had so our Jack Sayer, our demons, our resident demons player in Black Crow, and he's gone for a bit more of a chunky list. He's got a lot of great unclean ones in there because people just can't chew through them. So it's interesting to see the kind of the different styles that people are playing demons. But it was actually a bit of a lamentable weekend for demons, wasn't it?
Well, it actually looks as though it went this weekend.
Well, let's colour up. Give me one moment. And there we've got. This is where we've got the Manchester Open up, and you can see there Josh, David Gale. These two lists we will come and talk about in a little bit. Stop me when you see demons. I think I might have to go a bit quicker because unfortunately, look, you see what I mean.
Yeah, I found a demon player. From what I can gather, is the top demon player at the event. Unless I've missed one. At 128th.
128th. That is
going
rough.
2-3.
Wow. Okay, so top demons player going 2 and 3 because I'm sure if we go through all the rest of these, we're going to see significantly higher place for every other book. But yeah, so demons maybe they're going to get a bit of love though. I'm not sure how they'll get a bit of love. Maybe their smaller demons need to be cheaper again. What do you reckon?
I think it's the battle line, except Nurglings. Ignore Nurglings, they're their own thing. Majority of battle line, how often you've seen it played outside the odd pink horror. Bloodletters, Demonettes are still too expensive. As much as I hate to say it, Be'lakor is an interesting one where people take him because they have to, but he isn't worth his points. He's there because we've also got a lot of mech in the meta at the moment, so a lot of long range shooting, a lot of indirect. So his aura is very important. I think the big thing is we'll see battle line come down, and probably Shalaxi down a little bit, but not. She needs to drop a tiny bit. But it's a hard one now. I think it's almost going to need the actual codex to fix the actual a lot of the fundamental issues.
Yeah, no, I think that's more than fair that they do just maybe need their codex. I mean, Shalaxi, it feels like they can safely drop in points now because I think the reason that they had to boost her was at the start of 10th, everyone was just going, oh, I'm playing X Chaos Army, put Shalaxi and she's too good not to. Obviously, that's been
Yeah,
fixed.
yeah.
Yeah, Paul in the chat said Nids first, demons can get in line. I think that's probably quite fair. So Paul and I actually ended up playing an RTT on the weekend, and those poor old bugs, those big bugs. It feels like they just die far too quickly. Have you played against Nids recently?
I've played yeah, last weekend, round 5, which was a win for my demons actually. Only just, but even some of the big monsters don't feel like you're charging a big monster when you're charging a nid.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's very true. So turn one, I got bring it down, and Paul had deployed quite aggressively, which I think was correct because he needed to try and come up and chomp me. Because I had, redemptors, all that kind of thing, to really punish from a distance.
Mhm.
But I killed a Maliceptor turn one, even with the 5-up Feel No Pain, and obviously they've got a 4-up Invulnerable save. I was still able to, and this is literally turn one, and I'm able to kill a friggin' Maliceptor and nearly kill what's the guy with all the Haruspex? Nearly killed a Haruspex as well. I got it down to 1 wound and probably should have killed it if I'd rolled a wee bit better. But yeah, it was utterly ridiculous.
Well, that's the thing. Even like ignoring the Maliceptor at the moment, but say the Haruspex, yeah, it's got toughness 11, 3-up save. It's got no Invuln.
Well, this is it, and I mean the only reason that you see Redemptors seeing as much play as they do is because of how well cover works with 2-up saves. I just think 3-up saves are so poor now because of that cover change.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird to say it. In all honesty, like the fact that like it's better to be a 4-up save sometimes. I mean, as a marine player, I see that a lot more with my scouts. It's like cool. Well, I'll just have them on threes anyway because it's just basically not relevant. But yeah, cover is maybe a rule that needs to help. But I think if you made it so that cover could turn threes into twos, things might get obnoxious real quick for a few armies.
Yeah, there's probably a few combos out there that's going to make some things untouchable.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's probably for the best that it doesn't do that. But it's weird that 3-ups are as bad as they are. So there is one thing that I'm really keen to talk about because I think you and I both do enjoy our meme lists that have legs. So let's have a little chat about Mr. Richard Grint from Try Hard Wargaming's Adeptus Mechanicus, because he came fourth. Is it fourth? Yeah, he came
Fourth, yeah.
fourth. So he went 5-0 in the Swiss. And then unfortunately, I don't know who he came up against, but he only scored 28 points in the Shadow round, which is kind of brutal. But he wins the Chadmec award because
He
he was.
played Josh Roberts.
Okay, right. As someone that's lost to Josh Roberts 100-15, I feel your pain, bro. It sucks. Josh is a phenomenal dude. Before I say it, because I don't want it to be interpreted that I'm saying anything bad about Josh. Josh is one of the loveliest opponents ever. Even when I was literally losing by that much, and he was thrashing me, I had so much fun. Genuinely, such a lovely bloke. Absolute pleasure to play. If you see him down there, you're probably going to lose, but you're going to have an amazing time doing it. Also, just like straight up a nice bloke. In terms of just chatting about Warhammer in general, you feel like you learn quite a lot. So yeah, Josh, absolutely great. However, what I will now talk about is this glorious AdMech list? Let's go through it quickly. Well, I mean, it's going to take us years if we go through it. So I'm going to give you the highlights of lots of infantry.
And
Yay,
a great name
infantry!
for a list as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely brilliant. What do you think, Luke?
It's a lot to chew through. Um, I'm just trying to work out what do marshals do? Because there's three of them, isn't there?
Have you not got the
Oh,
code?
they can use stratagems again and give
Oh,
reroll hits. Okay,
yeah, they're captains and rerolls. Because I mean, this is very different to what we've
this is
usually
a lot of
seen.
stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they've gone right. Sod it. Let's not take any breaches. Let's not take any chickens. Let's just go marshals in the Skitarii Hunter cohort. So they've all got stealth as well. And just try and kill all of my models. I think that's honestly what they're just trying to do. Like they're going to sit on objectives. They're probably doing maybe fixed.
I mean, they've got a lot of bodies to do actions, so they can
Exactly.
very easily.
Yeah, and those sterilizers and I think there's some infiltrators in there. Yeah, there's some Sicarian infiltrators
Yep.
and the Cerberus sulfur hounds. So it's an uber quick list as well. So getting in your opponent's deployment zone turn one is actually probably quite easy. And I think you can give all of your guns assault, which would make it even easier just to rush into their deployment zone, deploy the teleport homer, cleanse two objectives. Happy days. Um, Interested to see an Inquisitor in there. I don't think I've seen that before.
And the Lord Inquisitor Draxus.
Yeah, Draxus I've seen a couple of times. Like the 18-inch lone op is handy, as you've mentioned, in terms of avoiding indirect and things like that. You don't want to accidentally
Yep.
just get blown off your home objective and give up a bunch on a bunch of primary, especially when this list, like, I mean, not to be crass, but your bumhole must be a 5p piece while you're playing this list. It must be so difficult to get it right.
Yeah. I mean, the Inquisitor itself, I don't know purposely what the purpose, unless it just comes on the board edge and scores something.
um, yeah. In all honesty, I'm not
Or
sure. Um,
did they have 55 points left?
to be fair, with AdMech on 55 points, that's like a whole nother unit. So I think there's got to be some kind of reason. Let's see if anyone in the chat said this is why you take an Inquisitor. Um, Apparently I'm very quiet. Let's go a little bit closer to my mouth. You can have some
Inquisitor
ASMR take.
regen just CP spent on a free up.
Yeah, that's a good one. And get out the Doom Rider, re-rolling, hits and wounds. Yeah, that's really cool.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I like that a lot. Tasty.
Do you do you think also part of it, against not necessarily against the top players, but against sort of your average players, he's going to win based on them not having a clue what he's about to do to them?
I
People
think
haven't played
so.
Abmech in 10th.
Yeah, I think so. AdMech can catch you out, and AdMech are very good, especially on UKTC, at pinning you in your deployment zone. Because I actually lost round 5 of Leicester to AdMech, because he just pinned me in my deployment zone and then just covered the centre with breaches. And it's like when they can Overwatch with full rerolls, sustained and lethal, and all the shots are like AP3 damage 3. Um, it was, and it's just the number of shots they were getting as well. It was utterly ridiculous. So there are definitely ways that AdMech can win, but I think you've got to have a real good brain for it, which clearly this gentleman did. But yeah, Inquisitive regenning CP, and like loads of free CPs. Maybe I mean,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I don't know what the stratagems are, which probably proves your point. But clearly, stratagems were very key to the escape from Trash Mountain. Okay, I think
Brilliant name.
the other one that I really want to talk about is Tony Chu, from Team England, who did lose to, in that case, David Gaylord, which is rough. This feels like a rough matchup. Before I show you this list, what would you expect when I say Eldari, Luke?
Well, at the moment, you're either talking, you've got 3D cannons, an autarch Farsis, sometimes an avatar. your Wraith. You're not your Wraith Guard, the Wraith Blade ones. Your sort of free Shadow Spectres kind of list.
Well, I love to
Normally,
say that you're wrong, my friend, this time, and we do have to scrap over this as well. But this was only cowards
it's real.
pick assassination.
One,
Have a
two, three,
look.
four, five, 7 characters.
7 characters, and most of them on their own. Because then look at the rest of the list. So the list is reasonably standard, as you can see. But also, look,
Oh, I don't know. We've got triple Warp Spider, triple Swooping Hawks,
it's not
but
just
then
triple
Sky
warp spiders.
Weavers.
It's 20 warp spiders. That's a blob of 10 warp spiders.
Oh yeah. Oh,
This is a tasty, and this is a blob of 10 swooping hawks.
20 hawks, 20 spiders.
And
Wow.
then 10 dragons. Yeah, sure. Fuegan. Yeah, brilliant. I mean, I just kind of like I'm famously probably one of the biggest haters of Eldari in Black Crow. Like I always talk bad of them, even if they're like bottom of the pile. I kind of love this list. And I know obviously it's a Team England player, so fair play. However, absolutely beautiful. Someone played a 14 character list. 14 characters.
14.
14. Sam, if you want to elaborate that, go wild. Because what on earth? Who's playing 14? Actually, I say that. I literally was having a conversation earlier in one of our group chats where someone just went, by the way, you can play nearly a 2,000 point army of just Space Marine lieutenants.
What? Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I think
How many of them are there now?
if you do the Space Wolves one, they've got a jump pack one, and a normal Wolf Lord one, and then all of the other lieutenants as well.
Brilliant.
It just gets utterly stupid. It sounds so much fun. As soon as you said it, I was like, that's my ITT list, because I won't be taking this seriously. But it looks like it'll be a ton of fun. What I do want to touch on quickly is the Meta Monday. Because in all honesty, apart from actually, there was one more Death Guard. Should we talk about the Death Guard list and the CSM list before we move on?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let me just find these because, unlike sensible people, I don't have one prepared earlier. This was just Dark Angels. I'm not actually going to talk about. This was literally just the flying birdie list. It was kind of interesting, but not for me. Ironstorm doing Ironstorm things. Let's see if we can find Greg Chamberlain. We'll shout out Greg Chamberlain, absolute legend. One of my favourite opponents ever. Very much more so than Luke. Luke's a pain in the arse, aren't you, Luke?
Well, especially when we're drinking cider and a fight.
Right, I think it is William Reed. I really hope it's William Reed. Because this, in my opinion, was rather tasty. Triple Biologist Putrefier, okay, seems pretty normal. Typhus, pretty normal. Foul Blight Spawn. Blobs of Plague Marines, because who doesn't need blobs of Plague Marines? And then we've got some Cultists. Interesting. Predators. Triple Predator. I mean, I like it, especially with the way that they can just get all of that AP, and that is 3 damage. 3 damage weapons, and you can easily get it up to -3 between the reduce, armor save, additional AP, and then -1 base. But then look at that, Triple Carnivore.
Triple Carnivore and a Nurgling.
Yeah, no shit. Let's be honest.
Nurglings are the main one. Come on, Nurglings are the man of the tournament there, or the
Yeah.
team of the tournament.
Nurglings will all, I mean, to be fair, Luke, how sad does it make you? This is one of the top place demons.
That's actually yeah, fair enough.
I knew that would get you so quick. But bless, yeah, Nurglings are featured obviously, but yeah, triple carnivore. Um, I really like the way that this person's gone of just throw the army forward, like with the biological putrefiers as well. Is that fight? That's not fight first. That's free grenade strat, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Just checking now.
Yeah.
The other thing is, he's going to chuck the carnivores at you. The time you deal with them, the plague marines are finally caught up, and you've got to deal with all of them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, because they're no slouches with the
No,
rhinos, and then let's be honest, anything that the carnivores can't deal with, the predators are going to probably handle quite comfortably. The
yeah,
only reason, the only way that I see this list dying, is if it comes up against those stat checklists that can handle knights but also handle medium infantry.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be the only way that I see this list falling down. I've got a bit of a soft spot for Death Guard at the moment. I'm really liking them, and I'm actually a firm believer of murdering their darlings and dropping Plague Burst Crawlers, which I feel is heresy to say because they've always been playing them, and Indirect is so good, but I just think for Death Guard, it's just not quite there. And chat may massively disagree with me. Um, Sam again banging the drum of ban Nurglings. Yep, Sam, we know what happened, but I think it's
So
really. Oh, sorry, you gone.
I'll say that Death Guard list also went 4-1. They only lost round one by 4 points. That's it. To
Wow.
Orcs.
To Orcs, I reckon Orcs might have
Orcs.
gone first, and like because if Orcs or well, it's difficult to say who goes first, but that's on Dawn of War deployment. Um, and it's
Yeah.
priority targets, and I don't feel like this list survives. It's not as survivable as other Death Guard lists for sure.
No, it hasn't got the usual Terminators, no Mortarion, nothing like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I think there's definitely a lack of survivability. So priority targets, and I mean we know that the top tier orcs do have the ability to control hordes and do have the ability to just kind of take down vehicles quite efficiently with those twin, not bone saws, kill saws, twin kill saws, because they're twin linked and wounding, and they're very very tasty. But I'm a big fan of that list. Let's try and find this CSM one as well.
All I think about when I hear CSM is Forge Fiends and Obliterators.
Well, I'm interested to see if Mr. Simon Fisher, who actually let's be honest here, he didn't score the best. Um,
I
he
think
did.
is 39th.
Yeah, came 39th, so he still did very well, and he was consistent in his scoring. He nearly scored. Well, only the loss was 72, and then everything else was between 80 and 90. So let's. Did he? Oh, he did play Innes. Yeah, that was his loss. Okay, fair play.
To be fair, that's yeah, the hard game.
Yeah, especially because I think Innes was on the Iron Storm list, which I think goes very nicely into CSM. But let's have a look at this. So, Abaddon, to kick us off, a Warpsmith with Marcus Slanesh, Cultists, Terminators. What do you make of that?
Wow. Yeah, I suppose with Abaddon, he needs some bodyguards, but yeah, it's a squad of five. Squad of five.
Yeah, so just babysitting Abaddon.
I
Interesting.
guess so on that one. Yeah.
Well, okay, so then Raptors. Okay, cheap melter guns, cheap plasma pistols. I get
Yeah,
that.
they're good for 90 points though. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
good for points.
100%. Couple of spawn just for actions and just sort of being annoying. I think. Again, triple predator destructor. Oh no, wait. Do we
Wow.
have?
I mean,
Wait, is Destructor, the autocannon version.
Oh,
You see
this is
how.
not a conversation that comes up very often.
Well, this is it. This is it, right? But predators have been sneaking up a lot more, and I can't remember who it was. Um, Alex Harrison was playing a Space Marine vehicle stat checklist, and he had predators in there as well. So we're seeing both chaos and loyalist predators. Um, so the predator destructor
Yeah,
is,
autocannon.
yeah, the autocannon. So I mean, it is a very efficient damage 3 weapon, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's just interesting that both of these two lists we've looked at both had three, and I might have to put an order in.
Well, this is it. I think that's really interesting to see that they like that people are going. But to be fair, for 130 points, that's not bad at all.
No, I
I
mean 130 points. What's the ability on it? I increase AP, don't it?
Yeah, so it increases AP. So it goes to AP 2 into infantry. I think the gatekeeper for more predator destructors being in the Space Marine lists is the Gladiator Reaper.
Yes, just
Um,
yeah, that much better.
yeah, it's the damage 3 versus dev wounds and just the number of shots it spits out, because it spits out double the amount of shots. But Predator Destructors, maybe they need another look, especially with Mark and Nurgle getting sustained hits on those 6 shots from your Predator. That's very nice. This Hellbrute's interesting. What do you make of this?
Yeah, however, it's not something I've seen much of for CSM. I suppose the thing is, again, CSM has changed now quite a lot compared to where it was 2 months ago now. When I got hit quite hard, to be fair. Um, I think the Hellbrute, it helps with the Dark Pact, doesn't it? If I'm
It
correct.
does, yeah. So it's got an aura that allows you to have both of the abilities of the Dark Pact in 6 inches. So I guess you could stick the Hellbrute and then all the Predators in a 6 inch
Triple
bubble.
Predator getting lethal and sustained.
Yeah, I mean that deals with their issue of being strength 9 as well, doesn't it? Because that, like, the fact that it's strength 9 and AP-1 has been what's held people back. But
Yes, that's a good point, actually.
yeah, okay.
An interesting bit of tech.
I really like that list. I don't think people have spent enough time. I think the people that were playing CSM have just left them rather than try and solve them. But we know that a lot of these units are good in other lists. So like Mauler Fiends we've
Naglings.
seen, yeah, Nurglings obviously. But like Mauler Fiends we've seen in World Eaters. Predator Destructors we've
Yep.
seen in Death Guard. Spawn we've seen in both of those. Cultists are great just because they're cultists. But yeah, I really like the kind of. I mean, this is an Ironstorm. Basically an Ironstorm list, isn't it? That you've got. Apologies for that, people. I think we just dropped out very briefly there. Can you hear me still, Luke?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Excellent. Sorry, I dropped out for a second there. Do apologise. Let's have a little look.
Oh, Predator's been good into custodies. Is something we could just put into the chat. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, because they're what be -2, so they shove them onto their invuln, and then they quite efficiently kill them. I mean, they're good into what's it, 8-bound as well. I know that World Eaters are less relevant nowadays. Sorry, Sam. But I still think that being able to efficiently kill 8-bound is probably quite important. And also Gravis, like if you can just go cool, those Inceptors are gone, not going to worry about them anymore. I think that's good. But that's a really cool list. Well done, Simon Fisher, on that list. Really great result.
No, look good.
I mean, we will have a quick look at Josh's list. Just it is almost certainly going to be exactly the same list as ever. You know, Illuminor, yeah, Plasmancer, Plasmancer, Technomancer, Technomancer, yep. All the Immortals, yep. Atherin Sights, yep. Triple Doomstalker now. He was only playing double, I think, before. And Lockhurst Destroyers. Just a little Lockhurst Destroyers. That's interesting. Trying to work out how different that
And
was.
triple wraiths, obviously.
Oh yeah. You don't even need to mention them nowadays. Interesting. I can't think what he's dropped to take the extra Doomstalker, and the Lockhurst Destroyers, but I think that's a really cool list. It's going to get nerfed to shit, but I think it's a really cool list.
Yep.
So that will bring our Manchester GT section to a bit of a close. Although here it is immediately again. But we'll move past that and talk about Adepticon, because something that I thought was really interesting in Adepticon. Obviously, Chaos Demons did actually do quite well in that, but Tau, they're showing their guts. What do you think when you see Tau nowadays?
Generally, all I ever think about is their crisis suits, because the amount of shots and firepower they put out. But Tau are generally quite squishy, and in my opinion, the current meta with Necrons running around splatting their squishy stuff very quickly, they run out of scoring. But it's interesting that they seem to be starting to perform again. I mean, in Depthcon, they got first and fifth.
Yeah, I mean,
coming back as well.
I think obviously whenever we look at the states, we should always take it with a pinch of salt, because the states has quite light terrain, it seems, so Tau will always do a lot better on that terrain. I think Riptides, for how much they cost, they're stupid good. Like, I would just straight up 3 Riptides every time. That would be how I'd start every single list.
Yep.
And I think the more that we're moving away from crisis suits, the better as well. Votan coming 6-0, Drakari coming 5-0-1. That's interesting to see in this German 156 player open. I don't think there's really Admech again.
Yeah.
Another Votan. Let's see if there's any. Are there any particularly spicy lists or names that you're spotting that you want to talk about?
Orcs made 5-1 as well, the German one, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm not surprised about Orcs, to be honest. I think they're one that people are sleeping on, because they it's the same as Guard. People are bringing them, and they're bringing their me malicious lists so that they can scream War and annoy half the room when they do it. But there is a really strong competitive build. I just think people seem to avoid it. I mean, like we can see here, there's another 4-1 list there. There's a lot of Space Wolf Stormlance. And
that seems to be making it.
Yeah, but I mean, well, actually, I was about to say it doesn't seem to have translated over to the UK, but there we go. I've just been proved immediately wrong. But also, Admech went 5-0 in their original. Oh, that's a 26-player one. That might be why. That might be why there, Luke.
All events, it can twist it a bit, can't it?
And then,
I mean, Admech, yeah.
Go on, you were saying about Admech?
So we're saying it's 5-0 and it twisted, been a small event, but then we say Admech went forward 6-1 or whatever it works out to be at Manchester.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Admech are still a really, like, you can play them in a powerful way, but I think you do need to play them in that specific. I'm going to put all of these guys on you. My Vanguard are going to reduce your OC. You're not scoring any primary. Because also I don't think Necrons are actually very well set up to deal with that. Because we know that they just can't chew through all those bodies, can they? So if you have a day of wait, did he lose 100-28 to Josh Roberts?
The Admech player did, I think, yeah.
Yeah, he did. Okay, I'm talking complete bollocks. Then again, Josh is Josh. We can kind of put him in a little Josh bracket. But I think a lot of Necron lists wouldn't be able to deal with that number of that number and reducing their rates from 2 OC to 1 OC.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
So right at the bottom here, we've got a little tournament known as Doom at the Dojo, and I wondered if you might want to have a little talk about that because I think some of your chaps were there, weren't they?
Yeah, so it's actually a local one for us. I still wasn't able to attend, even it being local. But Grey Knight's going 5-0 was one of our new redacted players in Dan. He did very well there. But it was their first actual event, the shop's running it. And it says 22 players there. I thought it was slightly larger than that originally, so there might have some drops. But no, yeah, from what I gathered from everyone, it was a really well run event. I don't know if everyone knows the Saffron Slam and Peterborough Slam. Paul Bridge, his train was being used throughout the day as well, so thank you to him. I think that's him sitting in third as well, if I'm honest. He almost trying to win on his own train again. But no, yeah, Dan did really well with Grey Knights. He had some tough matches. I believe he beat the Sisters player who finished second by 1 point.
Wow.
It was 85-84.
Wow.
And he played, I think it's the Necron player in fourth as well. He played him in the final round. So he didn't have any easy games to get there.
No, blimey, that's a tough run. I mean, it's nice to see Grey Knights performing as well. Like they've been an army at the start of the 10th. It's like if you were playing them, it was because you loved Grey Knights, not because you expected to win. So
yes,
yeah, I think to suddenly see them performing is really nice. Now look, usually these podcasts are about an hour long, and we've done about 45 minutes of good competitive conversation. Should we move on to the most important part of this podcast?
I think we need to.
I think we need
the key moment.
Well. The key moment. So we will turn off the Meta Monday because that's bollocks compared to what we're going to discuss. We're going to show you in all your glory on our screen 9 years ago, looking like a handsome devil. There we go. There's Luke.
My hair's a bit shorter.
Yeah, your hair is a bit shorter. I'm not. I think I prefer you with the longer hair. I must admit. If you want to see Luke with shorter hair, do follow the BCG OnlyFans link available in the description. That isn't true. Someone got really upset that we didn't actually have an OnlyFans over the weekend. Sorry. But now, Luke, we had. I don't know how we got onto the discussion. But we had a really long discussion this week when I think we were both quite bored at work about which 40k characters would like which biscuits. So if you're only here for the competitive discussion, you can tune out now. If you want to hear us talk absolute bollocks and have a laugh, do stay by. So we're going to kick things off and we're going to try and justify our choices or tear each other down because we are known for scrapping with each other. So, Rabute Gulliman. I've got him down as a rich tea biscuit kind of man. Agree, disagree?
I think I agree with that one. He seems to be the straightforward, plain nothing biscuit, if that makes sense. Dip it in tea, and then goes back to get beaten by Mortarion again.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing. He is standard. He's all right. You wouldn't write home about him. You wouldn't get excited about him.
No,
but
no, definitely not.
He'll do. But let's talk about his counterpart, his chaos counterpart, which is a Baden. Here he is. I've got him down as Hobnobs because no one wants a Hobnob. Hobnobs are useless. Just like him with his 13 Black Crusades.
It did take him a few attempts, didn't it?
Just
like it'd take you a few attempts to get through a pack of those.
Exactly. I think honestly it would take more than 13 attempts. And like, if you give me fig rolls or jammy dodgers, gone in minutes.
Or as VT Chris has put, digestives, boring. I guess he's on about Gilliman.
Yes, the chat will be ever so slightly delayed. Hobnobs drink your tea for you. Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah.
I just think it's disappointing when you see a Hobnob. Oh, Paul's just joined in as well. Hi, Paul. Thank you for being fantastic and having your terrain at the dojo tournament. Paul has a tournament. He's got a couple of tickets left for next week. For next weekend. I'm going to be trying to get one. I just need to see if I can get dog cover, so that
I'll
I
be
can.
there.
Oh, nice. Okay, well that gives me even more incentive
We can
to not
scrap if we
go.
borrow. Yeah, thanks. We could borrow Paul's dice and just roll sixes all session.
Oh yeah, to be fair, he does have that special dice
Yeah,
microwave, doesn't he?
he does, don't he? Special sixes.
Right. Okay. Well, I think we've done enough bad on being rude. Now, I think one of our favourite ones before was this one. It's Lilith Hesbrax, and Lilith Hesbrax likes that's because she likes four fingers.
Yeah. I couldn't disagree with that one. Four chocolatey fingers.
Four chocolatey fingers. Lilith just loves. Also, right, the amount of time I had to spend trying to find an appropriate photo of Lilith when I googled Lilith 40k art was terrible. Y'all need the Emperor because that was disgusting. Genuinely, it was just like, if we put this on, we will get content struck for this reason, that reason, or this reason. It was terrible. It was like when we had Chris on and he tried to get his dick out before we started. For legal reasons, that is a joke.
So Slanesh should have been pleased.
Yep, Slanesh. Oh, Slanesh loved it. I feel like, Chris, you need a Slanesh tattoo, if you've not got one already. So that's Lilith for you. Now, Horus Lupercal. Have you got any predictions for what we put as Horus Lupercal?
Oh, I see. I'm thinking something like them jammy crunch biscuits, whatever they're called, because he's like all solid. But I reckon he's I can see him crunching on something.
See him crunchy. Okay, I can kind of see that. See, we've gone for a Pop
Oh,
Tart because Horus always has to be fucking special. Can't just be a normal biscuit, can you, Horace? You got to be put in a toaster. You got to be loved. Your dad actually has to care about you. You know, just don't have that. Don't be a fucking pleb. Horace Supercow, Pop Tart. Any disagreement? Do you agree?
oh, that's a good one. Actually, I didn't even think of a Pop Tart.
Yeah, I think
Solid choice.
he suits a little Pop Tart. Also, just like enough sugar content to immediately kill you. Now we're going to go on to my personal favourite 40k character, and that is Caiaphas Cain. And I think we both agreed with this that it was the traditional chocolate digestive,
Yep.
so that he could dip it in his tanner and have a great time.
And just sit back and let everyone else die.
Yeah, exactly. Get Jurgen to do it for him. I absolutely love the Kane books. They like whenever I kind of fall out of love a little bit with 40k, I just have a listen to the Kane books again, and it just instantly gets me back in there for that enjoyment. It reminds me why I love it, because I mean you've met me, Luke. Like, you know that I don't take things overly seriously. I try and I try and mess around as much as I can. Obviously, if my opponent's up for that as well. And the Kane books just encapsulate that. If you are looking to get into the books, absolutely recommend Caiaphas Cain. So next, I think this is going to be an interesting one. I don't think you're going to be able to predict this one because I haven't told you about this one yet. It's the Swarm Lord. If you guess this, I will buy you a beer at the Peterborough Slam. Can you guess what the Swarm Lord was?
Swarm Lord. I think you've got to go something really, really quite random then.
Okay. What do you reckon?
Party rings.
Party rings, I shit you
The
not,
colours of the tyranny has been colourful.
they were my second choice. So I didn't go for party rings, but they were up there. Instead, I went for sausage, biscuits, and gravy. Look how
Sorry,
appetizing that
what?
looks. So this is the American biscuits. So you know how they do like scones as biscuits? We thought we'd go for that instead. And it just looks disgusting, doesn't it? Which I thought would fit the Swarm Lord so perfectly.
Yep.
So look at this. I mean,
Brilliant.
I feel like this one Chris might have cooked this one because it's covered in what I only assume is semen. But you know, all power to you, Chris.
Lovely. Yeah.
He loves his sausage, that boy. Now, okay, we've got Trajan. Trajan, what do you reckon?
Trajan. Our thing is, it's got to be a custard cream, isn't it?
A custard cream. That's a good one.
I always call them the custard creams.
I mean, oh yeah, that was how we started this joke, and I'm pretty sure I haven't picked custard
Oh, that
cream.
was it. The
Yeah,
custard creams.
yeah,
Yeah.
the custard cream, because you said you were going to start calling every different faction a biscuit name. But I said, oh, by the way, you are allowed to swear, everything like that. Um, so I went Jammy Dodger. I thought that he was quite bespoke and like he definitely needed a filling. Um, don't interpret that in any way. Um, I didn't mean it like
You
that.
said it, not me.
I know it's
A
absolutely
filling full of
jammy
gunshot
goodness.
wounds. That's what he needs.
Yeah,
Yep.
filling full of gunshot wounds. But yeah, no, I thought because he's quite bespoke. I love the art on this, by the way, absolutely gorgeous art. But yeah, Jammy Dodger for Trajan. Ivrain, what do you reckon for Ivrain?
Brain. Oh, I don't know.
We did talk about
Sounds really
this.
sophisticated. Oh, did we? Oh no, this is one of the millions, was it?
Yeah, yeah. We genuinely spent probably an entire afternoon just sending each other stupid suggestions for this segment.
It was. It will end up being quite a lot of messages, if I remember right.
Go on, Ivrain, what do you
What did we
reckon?
say? What did we say for your rain? No, I can't think what we said now.
So we went for Jaffa Cakes because it's not actually a
Oh,
cake, and Ivrain doesn't deserve to be amongst these characters. Get lost, you stupid Eldari bastard. Damn it, Ivrain. Can you tell I don't like Eldari? Is there something that gives that away at all?
I think next time we play, I'm going to bring 3D cannons and 3 night spinners.
I mean, you did say before we started that you're playing Drakari, which I love
Probably.
playing against Drakari because they are so cool to play against. I also hate it because I can never beat Darren, who is a great teammate of mine, amazing player, lovely bloke to play against as well. But I just can never beat him. His dice always spike, mine always go to the absolute dogs. But I love Drakari, although I kind of hate them as well. Well, speaking of darkness, Luke, we're going to go to your boy, your favourite boy, Be'lakor. What do you reckon for Be'lakor?
Elecor. Oh, so I imagine he's not actually that picky. I reckon he goes for like a full of the family circle or something. Because he likes to collect them all, doesn't he? He gets all the gods on side, like sort of different flavors and options.
Yeah, he's like you know the one that your mum always gets out at Christmas, like
That
the
pack of biscuits, yeah.
yeah the foxes, the one for a nice little spread, that kind of thing. Well, for Be'lakor, we've gone for Bourbons because he is.
Still a good choice.
I thought it's because it's that he's kind of like a custard cream, which I thought was imperial, but the complete opposite. Like, because he's that.
Sorry, a Marmite covered digestive for Be'lakor.
I mean, that would be kind of cool, but I just because you know that bit where Vashtor is trying to become basically a god by invading the rock and doing all that nasty stuff, and Be'lakor just turns up and is like, "No, this has to be fair." I kind of saw him a little bit like that kind of arbiter of order, and I think that Bourbons are like custard creams feel like the arbiter of order for good, which makes Bourbons the one for evil. And I feel like I'm thinking far too much into what biscuit Be'lakor would like.
And they've got a broken biscuit assortment has been put in the chat as well.
Broken biscuit is awesome. No, that's for that's imitate the Stormlord. Um, so then
Brilliant.
we got. So I've not put it in, so I'm gonna have to very quickly put it on. So this is live TV here, folks. What do you reckon?
So when he goes one way then.
Yeah, this is where I accidentally put my nudes up. So what do you reckon the lion would go for?
Lion. Some kind of shortbread by any chance?
It might be shortbread. It came up, didn't it? I was like, this is probably going to come up and ruin the game. Yeah, I went for shortbread because he feels traditional and bespoke. and majestic, and also we always have shortbreads at work, and it just makes me happy. And I love the lion because the lion is the best boy ever, after Curtis Kane, obviously, but the lion is the boy, and everyone would agree because the lion's the boy. If anyone disagrees in chat,
The Imperials.
So finally, and I'm going to test your memory on this. The solitaire. What is the solitaire's biscuit? And more importantly, how do they eat it?
I reckon the solitaire may like a good Oreo.
Got it in one. Go on, and how does the solitaire consume their Oreos?
I reckon, I don't know. We had so many discussions on different characters and eating Oreos as well, didn't we?
We did. We literally, I think we spent a good 15 minutes being like, Gazkul puts it up his bum, Abaddon just like smacks it on his forehead. The Tau just sort of look at it a little bit funny. But our reckoning was
we decided the Tower caviar eaters.
I think there was a point where we abandoned the biscuit, like the biscuit basis, the buttery biscuit basis of our entire discussion, and ended up just thinking random stupid things. I think we did also say that this is the battle of the chocolate finger, and also a custard cream, if we actually talk about biscuits. But I think with this one we ended up. Solitaires are the only ones, because they've trained for millennia, to open their Oreo, lick it, put it back together, dip it in milk, and then eat it. Because that is the best way to eat an Oreo.
A word for that one.
Yeah. We love an Oreo. Luke, so we're gonna start looking to finish up now. So is there anything you would like to say? Anyone that you would like to shout out before we finish up?
I'm going to shout out, so Ben, we all know Ben Pidd, he's actually setting up a new set of events coming soon to the East Midlands. His first one's in June, and he's going to do, I don't know how often he's planning to run these, but he's looking to do quite big RTTs. So this will be good. I think, again, I believe Paul Bridges Trains again has been involved. Paul Bridges Train does more travelling than I do. But no, yeah, that'd be good. No, otherwise, no, it's been good. I've enjoyed it.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I am just going to shout out our sponsor, Terrainforge, and I'm also going to shout out the battle report that we just released, which was Chaos Knights versus, I think it was Grey Knights. Yeah, it was Grey Knights. So really exciting battle of some potential ITT lists. So really good one to go and check out. Then we've got another battle report coming up at the end of this week, and we've got a couple of exciting ones that I think you'll like, Luke. We've got Jack's tournament report of his Chaos Demons at 40k for his second place finish.
Excellent.
I've almost done the entire podcast without mentioning that I actually made podium at a tournament yesterday. Yay! I made podium for the first time ever.
Well done.
Yay!
So how did that go? You went 3-0?
Yeah, so I went 3-0 and 291 out of 300. First place got 300 out of 300. And I got good matchups. If I'm brutally honest to myself, I played them in a way that allowed me to win, but I had kind of matchups for my faction, like Tyranids and then Double Death Guard as Firestorm Dark Angels is like, that's the kind of factions that you want to see opposite you, in all honesty.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Still had to do it though.
I did, and I somehow managed to do it. My dice did not betray me, and it was a great one. So we'll shout out the EAGT as well, and then we've also got Chris from Vanguard Tactics coming down to join our bat reps shortly. So that will be very exciting. I'm sure that lots of whiskey will be drunk that day, and lots of tomfoolery and entertaining will be had by the guys, because I think we're all getting together for that. And then the podcast next week, we've got Aaron coming back. We've got some of the other BCG founders coming in as well, as we have got a very exciting giveaway planned. So keep an eye out on the socials for that. Do please like this video. Tell us what we can do better. Tell us what you liked. Follow the Instagram. Follow the Facebook. Go and watch our other videos. And from myself and Luke from Redacted, thank you so much for watching.